Hello Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Max Effort Bench Press Day. But a quick reminder for those of you who enjoy these videos, please click like down below, help keep the likes higher than the dislikes over that script, and hit like on my other videos for the day. Over to the training, I will discuss a little bit the shoulder rehab. A lot of people are completely misunderstanding it in the comments. Like they think that I've like had this enormous damage or something and ripped something in my shoulder, and it's like, no guys, I'm still training. I'm not using the pressing to rehab my shoulder. I'm doing other exercises. But we did the axle bar close grip today. This was hard, and this is where I have to assess very closely my last rep, because I felt nothing but delt. Like I felt nothing but interior deltoid on all three of these, even that 260 and this 300 and the 320. I tapped the uprights and it made me struggle with the lockout, but I felt the lockout was slightly challenging even with the 300 here. Like it's good off the chest, explode up, last couple inches, a little bit of lockout, okay? But I felt it all in my delts. Now, that is still tricep weakness, and it doesn't mean I don't keep hammering my delts. My delts need work. We're going to keep hammering delts. I need delts. I need bigger delts just as a YouTuber. You know, let's be realistic here. I have other people out there who I am technically marketing against, even though at this point YouTube's not even my main business anymore, who blast tons of gear while claiming natty. It's hard to keep up with the delts, so I've got to train them. Got to train them hard. But let's come over to what we see happening here. Then I struggle, grind that lockout. Okay. And people will be like, well, if you say you feel nothing but delts, why is it triceps there? Well, look where it's at in the range of motion and look what's happening. My delts are being hammered into the ground, and they're a little weak still after having rehabbed them, so I'm still rebuilding the delt strength. Right? I'm still rebuilding that shoulder strength, which is going to take me, you know, a little bit of time, a few weeks, to get back where I was, back to, you know, doing that close grip with the 350 plus, like I did 3 weeks ago. So the reason I'm feeling the delts so much is that the delts are having to take over. The bar is drifting. Like I can feel where it's drifting and where the delts take over. This is where a little bit of experience comes into play. Okay, I shouldn't be tapping those uprights. Why am I tapping the uprights? Because the bar is drifting away from my lower chest. That bar at no point should ever pass the nipple. At no point on your lockout should the bar ever even reach your nipple line or higher. It needs to be fairly low on the chest. Not saying it doesn't drift up a little bit, but it shouldn't be past the nipple towards your face, ever. That means the triceps are not strong enough to keep it in the correct path. And if the triceps can't keep it in the correct path, the delts, it's compensatory strength. Does that make sense? It's called compensatory strength, where the delts are having to take over to finish the lift because the triceps are not strong enough to lock it, so the bar drifts up, forcing the delts to take over. And if you just had if I just had stronger triceps, I would just lock it right over my lower chest. It's clean and pretty. Okay, so we still are going to hammer the delts, but triceps are still going to be a big priority. So I decided, because this bar is harder. For those who don't understand, they're like, well, it's a bit lower than what you've been doing with the other bar. Yeah, of course it is. This bar is hard. And this bar tends to be even more tricep dominant. Axle bar tends to be that way. It's awkward. It's difficult. Like, I'm actually okay with that max for today. I'm not super happy about it. I'm not, like, thrilled. But I'm okay with it. We'll PR next time we use this bar, and that's what I want to do. I want to start using my different bars. We already know my lockouts are weak. I want to just see the power off the chest from now on, so I'm going to do a little less chain and band for just a bit. Have all these bars, mess with the different bars, mess with pin presses with the different bars, and rotate through bands and chains and stuff again. I want to see what I can do with every bar. I want to see where my weak links come out with every bar. But then after that, I decided I was going to do the close grip presses with it. I could only get 9. I estimated, like, let me just drop a full plate off, right? Let me just drop it down to 230. I could only get 9 reps on all 3 sets. So it ended up being 3 by 9. I was hoping for 10. But it's an interesting bar. I might work with that bar just a hair more in the coming weeks, just because I like the fat bar. I feel like it really helps build the forearms up. Helps with certain elements of the grip, even on pressing. Or I may switch through different bars for all the supplemental work. I might actually, even for a bit, if I use a different bar each time, I might try to use that bar for the closed grip presses after. Okay? Be rotating them all the time. The main thing is that we're getting a challenging closed grip press at different angles. Then I went to the standing press. I bumped it by 5 pounds today versus last time. Got my 3x10. They were challenging, especially the last set. It's challenging. That's what we want. I'll try to micro load it from here. I want to keep progressing. I want to stick with this bar for just a bit on the wide grip because it feels really good on my shoulders. Just something about this bar, and having rehabbed my shoulders and stuff, there's something about this bar that just feels good. It makes everything just kind of pop and crackle into place. Okay, and I feel good afterwards. Like after each set, it's like my shoulders feel like nice and warm and good. Okay, so especially with this wide grip with it, it's harder. Like it's I can't use as much weight with a wide grip, but I feel it. I feel more of the pec minor. I feel more lateral delt, right? I feel a lot of that stuff on this. It's just they're getting worked nice and hard. So this is a great supplemental lift for bringing up my different weak links, bringing up my whole shoulder girdle, bringing up my delts. And we know I need stronger delts still. I need to get my delt strength up. Because I'm going to always be a bit of a delt dominant bencher due to me sticking with closed grip, because I'm just better at it. I have so much power out of the bottom. And for a lot of people kind of ask that question, well, why? Well, partially my longer arms. But if you guys notice, I don't get anything out of a board. I can be weaker on a short board. And even when I go to something like a 2 board, I'm not any stronger. I am no stronger than off my chest. The range of motion at the bottom doesn't cost me anything, even though I have the longer arms. People think about, why, look how big my back is. You guys need to understand, I actually use my lats to get the weight started. That is why I am so much faster out of the bottom with a closed grip than a wide grip. I actually use my lats. And people don't understand that. It's fascinating when people who really don't understand biomechanics say something like, well, this should be all chest. I don't understand. Your lats can't possibly help pop the weight out of the bottom. It's because you have tiny ass lats. That's why you don't understand. Build your lat. Double the size of your lats. Double the size of your lats. Whatever they are now, if you don't understand that. And then watch what happens when you pop those lats at the bottom of the bench. It'll be an epiphany moment for you. Okay, big back helps you out of the bottom. And in this case, I can use my back even more with a closer grip. So even though I've got long arms and at a disadvantage, I just get so much more speed out of the bottom, and the back is part of it. But we still need to keep building the chest. We need more pec, need more delt, need more tricep. The triceps going to be a very high priority. So we did 5 sets of these. Like we do 3 sets of the other. We do 3 sets of the closed grip, which still hits triceps, by the way. 3 sets of the standing press, which still hits chest, by the way, and triceps. And then we come in and I'm going to hone in on triceps. And I'm going to do band work later. I'm going to do band press downs later today as a second workout. And again, people say, you want to see that on camera? No, you don't want to watch me stand around watching me do 30 and 40 rep sets of band press downs, okay? We don't need a second 10-minute workout video of me doing band pull-aparts and band press downs for sets of 40. Jesus Christ. Just take my word that I do it. Trust me, it's not hard. You're not missing anything. It's not like it's exhausting. It's not tiring. You could be really, really, really a lazy, useless piece of shit and still do that. Trust me, it's okay. Because people always pull that, you know, of, oh, I don't believe he actually does that work. He's just lazy. I actually see that. And it's like, no, you can be really lazy and do high rep band work. Trust me, it doesn't require any motivation or discipline. So, this other stuff is harder. But we did Skullcrushers for 5 sets today. Now that my shoulder's better, I'm going to stick with these. Sometimes the issue I was running into with the shoulder inflammation, these were a little difficult. We'll talk about the shoulder during all the laterals. I'm going to have something to talk about during my lateral raises. because they're long. That's like 6 minutes of training footage to do 5 sets. But now that my shoulder is feeling tremendously better, and I have full range of motion and very, very minimal pain, it doesn't hurt. Occasionally there's a little bit of tenderness that I have to just adjust and massage every day, but it's not continual. And I just have to remember to not sleep on my sides, to sleep on my back, and to do all my work for it. Okay. But now that I can do these again. These actually do really, really hit my triceps hard. Now the argument would be, Jason, can't these beat your elbow tendons up? Yes, they absolutely can. Number one, I do the band press downs. I do extra band press downs to keep those tendons healthy. I did tons of those to get those tendons healthy and thicker, to let me get away with this. It's weak elbow tendons. It's underdeveloped elbow tendons that really causes an issue with some of these really effective movements to where you really can't do them. Number two, ego. Instead of me going, let me just get more and more and more weight on that bar, dude, I'm doing 60 pounds for controlled sets of 10. Okay, 60 pounds. I could put more on there. I remember I've worked up to where I was doing more sloppy work with like 95, 100, but no, 60 pounds. It's pretty much failure. I couldn't get another couple reps if I wanted on those. I couldn't get more reps if I wanted. Okay. Elbow position, keeping a wide grip, and having built my tendons up, but we keep the ego in check. We don't start flaring the elbows out so that we can get 10 more pounds on that bar. No, we're wanting to work the triceps, particularly the medial head. And by keeping it real strict like that, it forces me to reduce the weight and treat it like a bodybuilding movement. You know, let's be honest here. I need bigger triceps. I need a lot bigger triceps. That is holding my bench back on so many levels. Okay? I'm getting plenty of heavy pressing in. I'm getting plenty of speed pressing in against bands. Then I'm getting all those close grip presses and overhead presses. We're getting all that. We've got plenty of weight there. I need to get in and just work those muscles. Okay? I need those triceps to grow. We can get our strength potential from them from all the heavier work. It is purely at that point hypertrophy to get the muscle bigger so we can build our strength potential. We can potentiate that strength with the heavy lifts. But I've got to add meat. I've got to add, honestly, to be realistic, to have an elite bench, my God, I would need to add like 2 inches to my arms just in tricep. Okay? From where I am now, that's what I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have some big ass arms because they're my weak link, and I don't have big arms. I struggle with arms. They're bigger than you probably think they are. I had someone say, well, someone measured your arms before that one troll when they were 16. Yeah, I was a lot smaller back then. Everyone realizes how many people come and go, dude, you got a lot more jacked in the last year. Perspective. We come over to the lateral raises. And notice I didn't even talk through the whatever. Inverted rows. We don't care. Sets of 12. Grip is going to be the limiting factor on those. That's okay. My back is going to grow no matter what. I'm using that as a grip tool. Just like I'm going to be doing the axle bar for some deadlifts and stuff just for grip training. So what? We get a less training effect. But in my case, my lats get hammered. My rear delts get hammered. Who cares? I need that grip for my deadlift. And my upper back is still growing. And we do all this other work for my upper back. The laterals hit the upper back. All my band pull-aparts hit the upper back. We're hitting all that upper back. Tons of good mornings. It's getting worked. Not a big deal. I need that grip to come up. All right? I'm not going to get a 700 deadlift without grip training. I'd have a 650 right now if my grip was stronger. I promise you already, based on that 625 deficit. So we've got to build the grip. And that'll do it. Well, let's come over to the laterals. I went up to the next kettlebell up today because I got 5x20. I got 17 each time. I always lead with my left side. Whatever reaches basically failure on the left side is what I do on the right. Okay. I managed to get to 17 reps all 5 times. I have to actually count it so that I get the sides even. I got to 17 every time. But I took a couple of minutes between sets. So if I had done like 60-second breaks, I would have been dropping reps real fast. A lot of my guys, I do that for work density on these smaller movements. I don't care as much about the work density because I have more free time than most people. So, you know, what's an extra 5 minutes? What's an extra 5 minutes of break on my last exercises? So it allowed me to pretty much get away with 17. And that's what we got. So when we get to 20, each time we go up to the next kettlebell. It could be a problem because the next kettlebells, I have a massive jump after that. I don't have 5-pound jumps. And kettlebells are expensive. I am not paying $100 for a damn kettlebell right now. Not doing it. Care how much money I already have in this gym. I'm just not doing it till that stuff goes down in price. We'll have to figure it out. But as far as the rehabbing goes, the pull-ups cause the issues. There's zero doubt in my mind about that. I'm not built to pull up. I look and I've kind of assessed my own situation with it. Yep, it's all pull up. Because I was at zero pain, fully rehabbed again. After the chin-ups and all that, right? I came and hit that bench PR. I did ring pull-ups, parallel grip ring pull-ups the same day. And then my shoulders were wrecked again. They didn't hurt at all from any of the pressing. They started hurting during the pull-ups, which is what caused it every single time. I have never had shoulder pain in a training phase where I was not doing pull-ups immediately before. And there's good data on that. I'm sorry, I'm just never doing another pull-up. People can try to convince me all they want. I always get, well, you could try this, you try that. You can try shoving your pull-up up your ass. That's what you can try. Unless you're going to pay me $1 million up front, I'm not doing another pull-up. I have literally tried everything. Nothing works. They're all painful. I don't have problems building my back. This is not an issue for me. I don't have to have them. So, I can do rows. Be just fine. So I do a lot of little mobility stuff. I use small plates. I use bands, like band pull aparts. I do rotator cuff exercises with my 2.5 and my 5-pound plates, my little bitty plates. I do rotator cuff exercises. Okay, I get in and I roll my delt and that tricep because that tricep gets inflamed. That right long head because it's that tendon got pulled on and knocked out of place. It got pulled out of place doing pull-ups. It like slipped over the bone and I've had to pop it back into place over and over and over. Well, that tricep long head gets inflamed, so I roll it. And I roll it on that axle bar. I drop that axle bar in my J-hooks and I use that to roll on those areas. I do band work and tiny little plate work for my rotators, all directions, all 4 of my rotators. Okay? So we're looking at like 4 different little exercises I do. I do them every day. Not that hard to figure out. Anyone who wants to know, you can go look at any physical therapist stuff. This stuff's not hard to find. But that's what I've done. I'm taking care of my shoulder health. And continuing to train through it. Because it's not serious enough that I have to quit training. Okay? I'm still able to do pressing and stuff. And we do. Because today was pain-free. I had no pain during my training. I have no pain right now. Completely pain-free at the moment. Which is good. After the end of a workout like that on a max effort day to be pain-free, we know we're in the right direction. I have no pain at all. Fantastic. Great workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.